Welcome, I'm David.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Desmonds Donders. Hello, and welcome to Desmonds Donders. This is an old spot for me, but a new spot for Desmond. It's one of the locations I used to fish in many years ago. It's called Loch O'Blairs, and it's a lovely walk. It can be reached from the main road, and as you can see, a very pleasant place. Quite difficult to fish. It's a maximum of 3 foot deep, and I've got some stories I'll tell you about later. Cracking place to fish. You're going to walk round the loch. So you'll see it from many different views, and I'll no doubt voice over some of the stories. Single male mallard. There are chicks about, but they all seem to have disappeared into the cover. As the camera appeared, but a good way off mine. So perhaps it's nap time. Well, as the rain comes down and we take shelter in one of the hides, let me tell one of the stories. We had a boat here on Loch O'Blairs when I was in the Air Force. You'll see the hot for that later. And we fished quite often at this spot. We took the boat in and out of the water at the beginning and end of the seasons, and there was myself, one other committee member who was ground crew like myself, and an air crew member. We were putting boats back in the water, so we were putting the boat in, oars and anchors. And then we would take it round to the boathouse and lock it all up, and that was it, ready for people to book, and the booking sheets would go out, etc. Just one of the jobs the committee did, one of the jobs I did while I was on committee. However, Mr. Aircrew, young lad, was not used to this kind of thing, and the Blairs boat was a wooden clinker built boat, and he took hold of an anchor and dropped it from the jetty into the boat. I won't use the language that both myself and the other committee member used. It was slightly blue. He knew he'd made a mistake. Luckily, the boat was undamaged. The old RAF boathouse at Loch O'Blairs. Boats were launched over to our right, which we'll see in a moment, but stored and locked here for the season. Some memories coming from there, rowing out through the trees into the main loch. But we'll go and have a look at the other bits. Well, I promised you more than one story. First, I think I've told this more than once actually, but this is the site of the crime. I don't know what stage of my Air Force career this happened as, but I was out on Blairs fishing. And as you know, I like bird watching. So there I was. I'd been all over the loch. I wasn't touching fish. It was hard work, but to my delight, an osprey flew, and it flew around the loch. So I'm thinking, well, at least I'll know where the fish are. And it flew round the loch, and then it flew off out towards Spey Bay. So I guess I wasn't going to find out where the fish were this time. Just one more tale to tell of Loch O'Blairs, and this is step one of me disassociating myself with Air Force fishing, and step two, fishing completely as it turns out. For now, you never know what might happen these days. However, with the thought that after this the blue tits are returning, here is story number 3, the final one. I'd been out fishing with a teammate, shall we say, from the RAF Championships. In fact, we've won trophies together. And we were out fishing. It was really just a relaxing day. And there was fish about. We were catching small browns and the odd rainbow, stocked rainbow. The browns were all native fish. Anyway, my partner in crime, because in my opinion what was about to happen was a crime, decided he would break the loch rules. He wasn't catching much, and he was just going to sit back, have a smoke, and stick a worm on the end of his line. This he did, and it worked, and he caught a lovely fish. I don't recall the weight of it, but it was a nice big, especially for the water, brown trout. It was duly knocked on the head, and we decided to call it a day, and we wouldn't mention the brown trout. Fair enough, I'd play along, and yeah, we went our separate ways, put the boat away, went our separate ways, and no more was said about it. A few months later though, at the AGM, said person was presented with the Fish of the Year award for the club, biggest fish. It was that brown trout, and I was disgusted, and I spoke up. I explained how the fish had been caught, etc, etc. Nobody seemed bothered. I'm sorry, if we'd lost after that, if we'd lost the fishing because of anything untoward, we could no longer say that we were honourable fishermen. Might be just me, being a bit me, but that was when I started running down my participation, both in the club and in RAF fishing. Which is a shame, because the Air Force had just realised that airmen were quite good at fishing, more so than the officers. That's another story, and I'm not going there this time. Let's go and look at those blue tits some more, shall we? Thank you for watching Desmonds Donders, and whatever you're doing in the countryside, please take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of our future videos.